Shalom. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ha-Rekah Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akiam for pushing this truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. All right. The Spirit has me today in Matthew, the 12th chapter, and I'm going to just go ahead and start at the top. It says, At that time, Yahushai went on the Sabbath day through the corn, and his disciples were anhungered, and began to pluck the ears of corn and to eat. But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, Behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day. All right, because they were picking the corn, which would have been considered working. All right, you're not supposed to work on the Sabbath, you see. And this reminds me of those alphabet camps like IUIC, who push the law to the point where, you know, they say that, you know, you basically need to keep the law to perfection, you see. But right here is an example of the disciples, you know, literally breaking the law on the Sabbath, you know. So the Pharisees tried to put a blame game on them, you see. And, you know, just showing you can't keep the law to perfection, but you should strive to keep the law to the best of your ability, you see. Verse 3, But he said unto them, Have ye not read what David did when he was anhungered, and they that were with him? All right. And so Yahushai was an expert in the law. Yahushai was an expert in the truth, right? So he was able to refer to David when they ate the showbread in the Old Testament. Let's go to that real quick. 1 Samuel 21:3, and it says, Now therefore, what is under thine hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread in mine hand, or what there is present. And the priest answered David and said, There is no common bread under mine hand, but there is hallowed bread. If the young men have kept themselves at least from women. So, you know, this also goes into proving that, you know, we're not to have sexual intercourse. We're not to have sex with our women on the Sabbath, all right? And the reason you keep reading, it says, verse 5, And David answered the priest and said unto him, Of a true woman have been kept from us. Of a truth, women have been kept from us about these 3 days, since I came out, and the vessels of the young men are holy, and the bread is in a manner common, yea, though it were sanctified this day in the vessel. So the priest gave him hallowed bread, for there was no bread but the showbread that was taken from before Yahweh, to put hot bread in the day when it was taken away. All right, so because this was prepared bread that was already prepared, you know, the hot bread would have been fresh, which, you know, you're not supposed to cook bread or anything for that matter on the Sabbath. So so that's just going into, you see, they still ate the showbread, and that was what Yahushai was quoting in Matthew 12, the 12th chapter. All right. So let's go back to it. Matthew 12:4. Let's read verse 3 again. But he said unto them, Have ye not read what David did when he was anhungered, and they that were with him, how he entered into the house of Yahweh and did eat the showbread, which was not lawful for him to eat, neither for them which were with him, but only for the priests. Or have ye not read in the law how that on the Sabbath days the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless? All right. So let's go to Numbers for a precept just to get more edification. Let's see. We go to Numbers 28, 9 through 10 to read that one. It says, "And on the Sabbath day, 2 lambs of the first year without spot, and 2/10 deals of flour for a meat offering, mingled with oil, and the drink offering thereof. This is the burnt offering of every Sabbath, beside the continual burnt offering and his drink offering." All right. 2 lambs. So we go back to Matthew 12. And we are verse 6. "But I say unto you that in this place is one greater than the temple. But if ye had known what this meaneth, I will have mercy and not sacrifice, ye would have not have condemned the guiltless. For the Son of Man is the Lord even of the Sabbath day." All right, so he's showing you that, hey, the men are the church are even more important than the Sabbath. All right, but this is not an excuse to say, oh, do what you want on the Sabbath day. No, it just shows you that the church, the men, are even more important than the Sabbath. All right. So let's keep reading. "And when he was departed," this is verse 9. "And when he was departed thence, he went into their synagogue. And behold, there was a man which had his hand withered. And they asked him, saying, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath days? That they might accuse him." So see, now they're accusing Yahushua for going into the synagogue and healing people. All right. "And he said unto them, What man shall there be among you that shall have one sheep, and if it fall into a pit on the Sabbath day, will he not lay hold on it and lift it out? How much then is a man better than a sheep, where it is lawful to do well on the Sabbath days? Wherefore it is lawful to do well on the Sabbath days. Then saith he to the man, Stretch forth thine hand. And he stretched it forth, and it was restored whole like as the other." All right. So he proceeded by, healing the man on the Sabbath. All right. And Yahushua is showing you he is the Lord of the Sabbath, and the men of this truth. You like he said in verse, where was it? In verse 12, he says, "How much then is a man better than a sheep? Wherefore it is lawful to do well on the Sabbath days." See, he's saying, you still want to do well on the Sabbath day, man. You still want to keep the Sabbath. But if your sheep falls into a ditch or a pit on the Sabbath day, you're gonna go get it, right? You're not gonna say, "Oh, it's the Sabbath day, and I'm not gonna go rescue my sheep." And who are the sheep? The sheep are the men of the truth. You see. So what? This mean you won't prophesy or you won't teach the elect on the Sabbath? No, of course not. You the greatest thing you can do is prophesy on the Sabbath. All right. But again, we're showing you, and Yahushua shows you that, hey, we're in captivity. There are, you want to keep this Sabbath to perfection if at all possible. But you see, in captivity, and there are times when the Sabbath, like in this case, hey, that's not what's going to save you, the law. But at the same time, we don't encourage you to break the law, you see. No, you're gonna always try to keep the law to the best of your ability. But I mean, you're not gonna just fall into a pit and then because it's a Sabbath day, you're not gonna help somebody out, meaning one of the elect. Meaning teach the sheep, feed the flock. See? And so this is why he was a stumbling block too, because with us in the truth, people don't believe that we're the prophets of the Lord. They don't believe we're the men of the Lord. The 2/3 and the heathen don't. Which is the majority of the people. So they have a they have the same sentiment and the same feelings as the Pharisees, as we read in verse 14, and it says, "Then the Pharisees went out and held a council against him, how they might destroy him." And that's what Esau is doing right now. That's what what's his name, Vocab Malone. He's literally holding counsel against us to try and destroy the truth. But as Vocab Malone is finding out slowly but surely, you can't do nothing against the truth, only for the truth. All right. It says, verse 15, "But when Yahushua knew it, he withdrew himself from thence, and great multitudes follow him, and he healed them all." See? So there's times when we don't get received on the street corners very well. That's the majority of the time. But if it gets really crazy, hey, sometimes maybe we move the camp, Just like Yahushua, he withdrew himself, it says. Verse 16, "And charged them that they should not make him known." See, so he was healing them, and he was telling them, hey, don't speak on this. Hold your peace. Where we at? "That it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, Behold, my servant whom I have chosen, my beloved, in whom my soul is well pleased. I will put my spirit upon him, and he shall show judgment to the Gentiles." See? And that's what we're doing. We're showing judgment to the Israelites who don't know they're Israelites. You see, they're Gentiles because they're strangers to Yahweh. So, you see, we'll go to verse 19. "He shall not strive nor cry, neither shall any man hear his voice in the streets. A bruised reed shall he not break, and smoking flax shall he not quench, till he send forth judgment unto victory. And in his name shall the Gentiles trust." All right, and the Gentiles, like I say, is the Gentiles of Israel, the strangers of Israel. The 2/3 right now would be considered Gentiles. All right. So when I say that, I'm talking about so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. They're Gentiles. And one way you can prove that they're Gentiles is because they're calling themselves Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, when indeed they are Israelites. See? Let's see. We'll go ahead and stop there for the sake of time, because I'm here at work still on my break. But just wanted to get in the scriptures and do a quick lesson. It was all through the Spirit. But yeah, man, we can't keep the Sabbath to perfection. There are many laws that Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushua Ba'Shem have given us, and unfortunately, they won't be kept perfect until we're in the kingdom. But like it says in verse 12, I'm going to read it again. Matthew 12:12, "How much then is a man better than a sheep? Wherefore it is lawful to do well on the Sabbath days." All right. So we're supposed to still try to keep the law to the best of our ability in captivity. All right. So with that, hope the lesson was edifying for the body. And I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushai Ba'Shem, Ha-Rakak-Wadash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akyam for pushing this truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, Shalom to the elect.